Last week, we received a potential major update on the status of the next film in the Planet of the Apes franchise, as Wes Ball is now rumored to not be returning to direct the film, with 20th Century Studios having already found his replacement. I'm here to give my thoughts, as well as give some of my ideas for who I think would be the best fit to take over the reins and direct the film. If you like what I do here and want to show your support, be sure to hit the like button on this video. You can also join the Ape Nation Discord server for daily discussions about the franchise, and if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on all things film and entertainment outside of Planet of the Apes, you can check out my other channel, The Real Deal. If you're interested in seeing more of my videos here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all things apes. Enjoy the video. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Ape Nation, your #1 source for all things Planet of the Apes on YouTube. My name is Josh, and as many of you may know by now, there was a new rumor that emerged late last week about the sequel to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. During last Thursday's episode of The Hot Mic, a podcast hosted by Hollywood insider Jeff Snyder and YouTuber John Roca, Snyder revealed some information that he has heard about the film, which is that Wes Ball will officially not be returning to direct, and that the studio has already found somebody else to replace him. And while this part appears to be more speculation, it is also expected that the new director will be announced sometime in the next couple of months. During the Q&A segment of the show, a live viewer submitted a question about the next film in the Apes franchise, wanting to know what is going on behind the scenes, and here is what they had to say.
I think you'll get some news on Apes soon. I think that they have somebody.
Oh,
I think they have somebody.
So it won't be, you don't think it'll be Wes coming back because of Zelda? Okay.
No, he's not back.
Okay.
I've asked about that, yeah, and it's not the other person, I was told. So, but yeah, I think that they do have somebody in mind for that. So we'll probably find out who it is in the next month or two.
Now, as I've stated already, right now this should still just be considered a rumor. It very well could be true, and in all honesty, it is more than likely true just going by everything we have heard and already know so far. We know that this film has been in development since sometime late last year, if not earlier this year. We also know that Wes Ball is currently busy working on the upcoming Legend of Zelda movie, which just started filming a few weeks ago and will continue well into 2026, with post-production going up to its release in May 2027. Logistically speaking, the absolute earliest another Apes movie could come out if the studio waited for Ball would probably be late 2028, though more likely sometime in 2029, and as I've said before in previous videos, I just don't think that they're willing to wait that long. While I would have had no problem waiting a few extra years for Wes to come back, I get why the studio, as well as other fans, might not want to. So ultimately, I do get the decision to move on from him. And while I know there will be, and likely already are, a handful of Planet of the Apes fans who will be really nervous about the idea of a new director taking over for the next film, I don't think that we have all that much to worry about, assuming of course that they hire another good filmmaker with a good track record. It would be pretty much exactly what happened back in 2012 after Rupert Wyatt left the sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Matt Reeves was hired on to take over, and that resulted in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which, depending on who you ask, is widely considered to be one of, if not the best film in the Planet of the Apes franchise. I'm not saying necessarily that we should expect another film on that level, I'm just saying that this has happened before and that fans should feel okay about another director taking over for the sequel. Personally though, I think that the real news here isn't so much that Wes Ball isn't directing, but more so that 20th Century Studios already has a director lined up to take over for him, and that they could be ready to announce who it is as soon as next month. And so I thought it would be interesting to take a look at a few potential directors who I think would be a good possible fit to direct the next Planet of the Apes movie. The first person on my list is J.A. Bayona. This is the director of, among other films, The Impossible, A Monster Calls, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Bayona has worked with visual effects heavy films on both large and small scales, and he also understands how to tell a really emotional emotionally compelling story and find the heart in everything he's made, whether it's something gruelingly tragic like The Impossible, or something big and mass appeal driven like Fallen Kingdom, which granted I don't think is a very good movie, but is easily the best of the Jurassic World films. He also has no upcoming projects currently listed, and so I think he is in a very good position to take a job like this and would be a very realistic and, in my opinion, solid fit for the next film in the Planet of the Apes franchise. The next person on my list is Chloe Zhao. Now, many of you have likely heard this name, but if you don't know who this is, she is the director of The Rider, Nomadland, as well as one of this year's latest Oscar contenders, Hamnet. But the film that most of you most likely know her from is Marvel's Eternals, which is a film that, in my opinion, did do a good job in showcasing her ability to manage a massive scale sci-fi film in terms of visual aesthetic and scale. I just think that she needs a bit of a stronger script to work with, at least when it came to that movie. That film's major issue was the characters and story, both things that have already been pretty well established in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and will presumably continue to heavily involve franchise producers Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, and also both things being what Chloe Zhao has excelled in with her other films outside of her work with Marvel. She's proven herself to be the type of filmmaker who can work within the franchise machine, but still bring her artistic style and voice to the table in a way that feels genuine and not watered down. And to top it all off, her schedule, just like J.A. Bayona, is fairly empty coming up. The only thing she is currently working on is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot television series, at least as far as I know. And so for all those reasons, I think that Chloe Zhao is a very possible, and in my opinion, another solid pick for who could take over the director's chair for the sequel to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. As for my next pick, this one is more of a reach and one that I highly doubt would happen, but the stars do kind of align right now, and it wouldn't totally surprise me if this name or someone like it popped up, and that would be Alfonso Cuarón. He is the director of Y Tu Mama Tambien, Roma, Children of Men, Gravity, and the third Harry Potter film, The Prisoner of Azkaban. Cuarón is one of the most respected and celebrated filmmakers of the modern age and of his generation, and I think that he carries a level of prestige that would be really exciting for the Apes franchise, and is a really gifted filmmaker who brings so much flair and personality to his work, but is also able to have universal appeal and, like with Harry Potter, work within a pre-established franchise. He's also helped push the boundaries of visual effects storytelling and visual effects technology with his work on Harry Potter, and especially with Gravity, and would likely be able to work wonders with performance capture and the world of Planet of the Apes. He does have a few different projects lined up that are in various stages of development, but nothing is concrete just yet, so I don't know if he has his next project necessarily picked out, so for all I know, he could be completely busy for the next 5 years. That being said, I still think that there's a possibility that if not Alfonso Cuarón, a prestigious filmmaker like Alfonso Cuarón, who's in that position, could come in and take over for Wes Ball for the next Planet of the Apes movie, and so that's why he is on my list. And finally, and this is the filmmaker that I think is by far not only the best fit, but the most likely fit for the job, and that would be Dan Trachtenberg. If you've heard that name recently, is because Trachtenberg is the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, Prey, Predator Killer of Killers, and the film that is currently playing in theaters, Predator Badlands, which, by the way, you should all go check out in theaters right now if you haven't already, and in my opinion, he is easily the best pick for the job. He just makes the absolute most sense for a multitude of reasons. For starters, he already has a great working relationship with Disney and 20th Century Studios due to his work with Predator the past few years. He also works really well with visual effects and has experience working with Weta, who do the visual effects for Planet of the Apes. He has shown with Predator Badlands that he has what it takes to make the jump from smaller scale and lower budget sci-fi thrillers to higher budgeted, bigger blockbuster type films, and still retain everything that makes his films so entertaining and so compelling. While I do want to see more of what he can do with Predator, everything he's done so far almost seems like it could be training wheels for another step up to something even bigger, and I think that Planet of the Apes is exactly what that bigger movie is. Another thing that's worth noting is that he's honestly cut from a similar cloth as Wes Ball, as a filmmaker who started out about making short films for YouTube and comes from that kind of geek community like a lot of us fans. And like a lot of these other filmmakers I mentioned, he has no upcoming projects currently. There is the potential that he does want to do another Predator film, and maybe he has another idea for where he can go with that, and assuming the studio decides to do one, he might be locked up. But for the time being, there's nothing currently announced and there's nothing in the works. So timing wise, it lines up pretty perfectly as far as I can tell. So while obviously I have a clear favorite between these 4 picks, I would not be surprised if at least 3 out of the 4 of them were announced, and I think all have done work that showcases qualities that you want to see in somebody taking on a film in the Planet of the Apes franchise, and all of them would most likely be available when the studio needs them to be, which is likely sometime next year if not early 2027. While there are of course dozens of other directors who I think would make for a great pick, these are just the ones that I thought would be a blend of the most realistic, interesting, and exciting choices based on where things currently stand. Speaking of other choices, I have another much bigger video that I'll be putting out later next week, and I need you guys to help me out. I'm going to be doing a tier list ranking of every potential pick for filmmakers who could replace Wes Ball on the next film, and I want you guys to give me suggestions for directors. I will be including a handful of my own picks as well, and will rank all of them based not on what I think of them as a director, but how well I think they would fit as the director for the sequel to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So let me know what you guys think about all of this. Are you upset that Wes Ball will likely not be coming back to direct the next movie, or are you excited by the idea of seeing someone else take over the franchise? Also, do you like my picks for who I think could replace him, or do you have somebody else in mind that I didn't mention? I want to know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out today's video here on Ape Nation. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on all things apes. I'll catch you in the next one, so until then, goodbye.